So I don't know. I think season three as a whole, though, I'm going to throw a really weird analogy in here, right? Unlike me, I know.
Okay,
Um,
love it.
Sons of Anarchy. Okay, I'm going to bring up Sons of Anarchy for a reason. Okay, Sons of Anarchy was one of the highest rated shows on TV. It was the biggest show on its network when it was on, right? And in its last season, they were like, "Do whatever you want. You could. How long do you want the episodes to be? Normally they're 45 minutes. Nah, go ahead. What do you want? An hour plus?" And I think it really hurt the show. And I think Ted Lasso is kind of the same.
Mm,
Like every episode is now like an hour or more, and I think it's really hurting the show. I have to say, season three, I'm enjoying it. I think there's been moments that have been better than any of the season so far. I think it's also the weakest season. I think
yeah.
it's a little bit unfocused. I feel like some of the characters don't really have a lot to do. There's a lot of story threads that it feels like haven't really gone anywhere.
Mm,
Like at the start of this, and I know someone they'll point to, like, because I can see people defending the show and they kind of go to the most minor of justifications to defend it, like with like Zava. It's like, oh well, see, well that's how they learned this, and you're like, okay, do we need to spend 3 episodes to get to that point? I
yeah.
don't know. I think as far as like great moments, I think like Colin, I think is the person I'm
Yes.
talking about now. He's been a character that really has come to his own in this one. I think he's had some of the strongest moments in episodes, and I do think there's characters that have really benefited from the fleshing out, but I also think like some of the main characters in the show have actually suffered through it. I don't know. Maybe am I being too negative here? Or you want to
No,
be like, no, Tom, it's class. Shut up. What do
no,
you think?
no. I totally agree. Um, I feel like sometimes shows that become instant cultural institutions like Lasso has in kind of spawning catchphrases and bits and parodies and stuff like that, the show itself starts to become self-aware.
Mhm.
It starts to become self-aware, and then it starts doing the things that it knows people likes rather than the things just happening to flow naturally, which I think for the first two seasons it very much felt. So there's a lot of memeability in this season. You know what I mean? Like, but there's like it doesn't necessarily make sense from a character standpoint. And I agree with you because like it's good, it's entertaining in a vacuum. If you just take the individual scene, it's the things that I'm talking to my friends about in work, because everyone in my job is a big Lasso fan. And it's like
Mhm.
evil Danny Rojas, like last week.
Yeah.
Amazing, like really funny. But what's it got to do with anything? What does it prove? What story does it serve? What does it? And for me, what I love, because I did a Lasso rewatch just before this season, what season two in particular was art, because you looked at it and you're like, that point, that point, that point, that point, and that point is building to that point. But we don't
Mhm.
even know it's building to that point. So Nate is a perfect, it's like there are germs of, you can see his character arc kind of weaving its way in, but we didn't think much of it throughout. And season one was very good for that as well. But season two kind of perfected the storytelling vibe of it, because they didn't
Mhm.
have to establish the characters as much. They could just actually go with what the characters wanted to do. This season, I don't feel has that, but maybe by the last two episodes, they'll show me how it's all connected and how they weaved it all together. Again, there's been like things where like Roy and Jamie learning to cycle. That is an all timer. And
Excellent.
that,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
when Roy just looked angry and then immediately just fell, boom, amazing. You didn't have to do much. And again, there's a lot of moments where they let it cook, but it just feels like it is a series, a collection of episodes mashed together in almost a sitcom like fashion, rather than
Mm.
kind of what I've liked about it is that it combines a class A comedy with a genuine hard-hitting drama where you care about the characters, the decisions, and what's going to happen, and you can speculate it
Exactly.
and talk about it. I feel like if Succession wasn't airing at the same time, we'd be having similar deep conversations about Ted Lasso, but I
Mm.
don't feel the show would bring that as much as it did in season two, because I feel like it's
Mm.
just like this is the episode where they go away to Amsterdam because people like when they do an episode away.
Mhm.
So I do agree, and there's a part of me that's ready for it to end.